Imhoteppinsum pike sitsue yatue yatue yatue.
That is horrifying. We're here with Sean Paul with Intrigue Journal, and what are you going to follow that up with?
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys have been talking about the afterlife a lot. Have you not? My wife has done like 3 segments on the afterlife. She's not the only one. The ancient Egyptians were really big on the afterlife.
Okay.
Okay.
And we do paranormal experiments in our show, and we really ramp it up in the month of October. And 2 years ago, we started doing a very specific paranormal experiment. And we get people up. I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but I have gone and I've talked to scholars and Egyptologists, and they say that there really is something to it. So that was a movie, but I'm here to tell you what the inspiration is and what really drives these people to dig this stuff up out of the earth.
Okay. Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated already.
Right.
Yes.
How's that for a hook, ladies?
Yeah, I know, right?
All right.
Yeah.
And I've got sound bites and everything to back up what I just said. Okay. So we got this segment. We started putting it in the show. I've been fascinated with this for a long time. I was 2 years old. My grandfather would bring me to his Masonic temple. He was the caretaker there, and I knew every square inch of this building, all right? It's a very mysterious place. I knew every room, every hiding place, but these Masonic temples are very inspired by ancient Egypt. And in fact, a couple years ago, we were doing tours of these Masonic temples. They are fantastic performance venues. Like in Guthrie, Oklahoma, we performed in their Egyptian theater.
Beautiful.
Look at this. It was spectacular. McAllister, Oklahoma, has one of the most, look at this. You'd swear you were in Egypt or in Cairo performing. And so it's decadent, it's amazing, right? And I was part of this, this culture growing up in my grandfather's Masonic temple here. And the ancient Egyptians, they actually have a book that they created. It's thousands of years old. It's older than the Bible. And it is really called the Egyptian Book of the Dead, all right? Okay. Or of the Great Awakening.
The Great Awakening.
Okay.
Yeah, which, you know, referred back to that opening segment right there. This is a real book, and it comes from ancient Egypt, and it actually began, they would prepare the dead. They don't just bury the dead in Egypt. They would do a mummification process, right? But then this book is actually, I got this on Amazon, okay? All right, but it actually came from inscriptions that are found on the walls of the pyramids, in the tombs, inside sarcophaguses and things like that, and it's a handbook, basically, a guide for the deceased to prepare for their journey into the afterlife.
Interesting.
It really
Can I
is.
see that book?
Yeah.
You certainly may.
Prepare, which is interesting. To prepare, but I think they're already gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but is there really something to it?
Well, they believe it, though. If they believe it,
and they prepare for it.
So now, there was a copy of the Book of the Dead in my grandfather's Masonic temple in the reading room. That every one of these temples has a reading room. And he told me to stay away from that book and to never go near it.
Really?
Right.
Why?
It was a copy of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, but it didn't look like something you got on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And I respected his wishes, and I never went near it. But then he died.
Oh.
Is that the book?
Is that it? Seriously?
So now I've got this, and I've been going through. There's translations for the hieroglyphs.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the translations right now.
And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do one of the rituals that are outlined in the Book of the Dead, and I've been practicing the actual pronunciation of ancient Egyptian dialect. You see, no segment is, I love the snicker. I love the snicker. But we would do this, and the last 2 years in our big show in Eureka Springs, in Intrigue Theater, we get people up out of the audience, and we do a thing called the spell of breathing, okay? Now, people wonder, is there really something to it? Scotty Roberts, he's the publisher of Intrepid magazine. I asked him, he's got scholars and friends that are archaeologists, is there really something to the supernatural and the paranormal aspects of Egypt? And this is what he said.
I think that many of your scientists, your archaeologists who are working this stuff, they are going there to find the history, the tangible history. But there's not a single one of them I know that doesn't believe there is more to it than that. The history is the drive they had, the academic, the scholarly drive to get into things. I'm an academic. But when you're out in the field and you're there and you feel, I've had them tell me, Scotty, look into the hills at night, you'll see the jinn. these things exist. It's out there. The magic is there. The supernatural is there. The other life is there. And that's just below the surface of the science of digging.
All right. So, but if you're going to do a ritual like this, there's one thing missing.
What?
What's missing?
A mummy.
A mummy?
And it's actually illegal to acquire antiquities and export them. You can go to Egyptian jail if they find you trying to smuggle things out.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you acquire something like that?
You
How do you?
You don't have a mummy.
Well, 100 years ago, it wasn't illegal. And the Victorians in this country, they would have parties, and they would import a mummy, and they'd have what was called an unwrapping party. And they would pour really stiff drinks, and they would actually unwrap this mummy. I'm not kidding you.
Can I tell you, I don't even drink, and I would need a stiff drink if I were to do this.
Yeah, right. And you know what? One time they thought they got a princess, and when they unwrapped it, they found it wasn't a she.
Oh.
Right? That's a true story. But this really happened. So there are people, there are private collections that actually have the remains. And I found a family that said that they had one. I was called and I said, I understand that you have a mummy. And the lady was like, did my husband finally find somebody to take that out of our house? I'm so sick of his great uncle's crazy. You know, she got really upset. I was, yes, exactly. That's exactly why I'm calling. I'll have it picked up right away.
Sean, tell us you don't have that here.
Well, actually,
Oh, no.
we put it at the center of the table, all right?
Okay.
And I get the audience to come up and they walk around, they stand, and they offer life force to the object of discussion.
Look at that right there.
Yes, I got...
Oh, that's so disgusting.
That's what I got shipped to me. This lady wanted to get rid of it out of her house. So, Jeremy, would you mind holding this?
What? Hold this book, Kel.
Oh, I'll be happy to hold the book.
The inscription says, Reknar, high priest of a moon, found near the temple of the nobles.
Ah! Are you really taking that out?
Yeah, well, okay.
No! I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it!
Ah, is that real? Is that real? Jeremy, don't look.
I don't want to see it.
Don't look. That is hideous.
I'm having nightmares, Kelly.
That is hideous. Jeremy, why is its head so small?
They were small people.
That is terrifying. Why did you bring that?
Touch your hand. You just held that mummy. That's really disgusting. Did you see it? You didn't see it?
No, I didn't even look. I couldn't even bear to look at that show, Paul. And you used that in your show?
We put that at the center of the table. People stand there, they raise their hands, and they exhale. And we've had things happen, and people have gotten up and run out of the room.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes, it's worth doing every year. We don't do it every night. We save it for October.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to head down there this October. Sean Paul, thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
pleasure.
Sean. Oh, okay.
I'm glad I didn't look directly in its eyes. I'm going to be having nightmares for weeks now.
Yeah, you will be. Okay.
Thanks, Sean Paul.
Thanks, Sean.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Oh, my gosh. I had the heebie-jeebies.
Yes.